Minthara. Okay. This deck follows the go-wide game plan of using Minthara's buffs to kill with combat damage. Has some proliferated aristocrat sub-themes to try and maximize the experience counter value. Okay. It also relies on the land base to help trigger her. The goal of this deck is to be your high 2, low 3. I enjoy Rozov go wide, and Minthara is a cool commander that I enjoyed the theming of. No restrictions on what can be added. I feel like the main issue is consistency. So typically when we have consistency issues, it means that we're either running cards that aren't high impact, or like Catcher's Monument, for example. Or we're running cards that are clunky. Like the curve doesn't work that well. So I'm going to look at our curve first. Our curve looks okay. We don't have a lot of 1-drops, which is a little concerning. I like Lily. I'm going to say Ashnod's Altar and Catcher's Monument go. Ashnod's Altar is always just better as a combo card, in my opinion. Unless you have big X-Spells, which this deck kind of does. Being able to turn Jackrabbit tokens into a bunch of mana, it's not bad. It's just kind of weird. Damn, this card's good as fuck. Holy shit. I guess you have to X-Spell it, though. Unlike Jackrabbit that just passively makes tokens. Okay. So for me, I'm looking at this deck and I'm immediately thinking, okay, we should probably be running some sort of Starfield Shepherd small creature package. I don't like the lock in Pack Beast. I like Voice of Victory a lot more for the mobilize kind of card. Dope. Holy shit. I want to know if you had an idea for a multi-blocker commander deck using cards like Echoes. Okay. I have a perfect deck for you. It's already built. It's Linvala Flash. No. I have a video, though. I forgot what video it was specifically. That's literally talking about the exact deck you want. Specifically, it's an Angels deck, and what you do is you have Sarah Emissary, which enters and gives creatures and you protection from a type. You name Angel, or you name Creature, rather. Sorry, Creature. So you have protection from creatures, and so do your creatures. And then you run Guardian of the Gateless. It's a 5-mana Angel, 3/3. It can block any number of creatures. Now, suddenly, when all of your creatures have protection from creatures, great news, no one can do anything to hit you. Linvala is also a very good option here. If you run it in a deck with Heliod's Pilgrim and other aura stuff, you are able to Gift of Immortality onto Linvala because she's a selfless spirit in the command zone. And suddenly your multi-blocker creature has indestructible every turn because you sack Linvala before the combat damage goes through. And then Linvala comes back, and then Gift of Immortality comes back on the end step. If you combine that with like a Farah Entity Tracker, you get a card draw engine, right? Here, I'll just literally link this deck. You can kind of just look through it. So enjoy that. That's my thought. And the card, Heliod's Pilgrim can also get your Entangler kind of cards and stuff. That's what I ended up on for Linvala, but results may vary. Maybe you don't want to do an initiative like I ended up being on, etc. But yeah, that should get you started. And hey, if the deck doesn't work after you build it, you can get a deck review. I don't know if I like 1 mana. This dude just has Myriad. I think that's a little too slow. Whenever an opponent commits a crime, proliferate. I don't like that you can't control that. Moonshaker Cavalry, our commander's an overrun. I think this is kind of taking away from Minthara's whole gist here. Deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. It's okay. It's okay. I think it's a little win more. If we're hitting our opponents with creatures, that means we're probably winning. Boss's Chauffeur, when it dies, for each 1/1 counter on it, not equal to its power. That makes me a little bit weary about it. For each experience counter you have. Okay. I think Aang might be too slow, though. Just 5 mana, make a bunch of tokens. Like, that's a lot of cards. You're right here. Thank you. No problem. We have Sasur Sakandi. Good to see. All right, I'm like going to look at the rest of this. Maybe Gix is a little dangerous because it is symmetrical, but that should be fine. Okay, anyway, starting. Starfield Shepherd. Hey, I have really good news about what Warp does with Minthara. Oh, at the beginning of your end step, It doesn't work with Minthara, but still, if you flicker this, you feel very good about yourself. Speaking of Mother of Runes, 1-drop, very important to go grab. Hey, do you know what else is important to go grab in this sacrifice deck? A Viscerous here. Right, Viscerous here. It's just a 1-mana creature that's a sack outlet. Now this is also a sack outlet. That's very strong. Starfield Shepherd's also really strong with Felia. We don't have a budget restriction, so Overlord of the Balemerc. It's a good glue card. It's just a good mid-range threat. Early game, it's a cantrip. If you get the right number of pieces, it works with Felia. Doll Maker's Shop, Porcelain Gallery. This makes all of the creatures have base power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. And then Minthara turbo boosts that up to even higher. And also gives you sack fodder in the early game. Here's the great news about this. You have access to Windbrisk Heights, which is a really easy way in these kind of low to the ground token heavy decks to get free casts of cards. This works incredibly well with Porcelain Gallery. You can get that out early. Starfield Shepherd, you can cheat that out early. Overlord of the Balemerc, you can cheat that out early. Liliana, you can cheat that out early, right? It's just like Windbrisk Heights cheats out so many of the things here. So does Collector's Cage. Collector's Cage is a hideaway artifact. It lets you put counters on creatures, and then when you have Coven, 3 different powers, you can free cast the thing underneath it. Hey, great news about that. You have a wide board. Also, Felia can reset this. It's a great advantage engine for that. Grim Reaper's Scythe. No, that's too expensive. 7 mana to return 1 creature, and then also like it works when creature cards leave your graveyard, which we're not even necessarily doing. I think there's better card advantage options than Trouble in Pairs. It's just that card's just kind of not like a synergistic one. Creature enters, that will be happening all the time. Bitter Blossom, Skrelv's Hive. I don't think we need multiple Bitter Blossoms, and if we did, we need them. I'd just do this and this. Attrition, oh, disgusting. Evil card. Bash of Remembrance makes sense. Black Market Connections makes sense. Yeah, I like it. I'd rather have Adeline. If we don't have Adeline already. Okay, we do already have Adeline. Okay. Tasia's Welcome makes sense. Solthera. Solthera makes enough sense. Okay. So we have 6 more slots to play with. I want to cut a Plains. This is the last Plains I'll cut for Ameria's Call. This is another big thing you can cheat with Collector's Cage. It's just kind of nice to have a couple MDFCs like this that are super easy to cheat out. I don't know if I like Chroma's Will because no. Chroma's Will I do like because all of our creatures are big. They just need evasion to get through. Okay, that works. We should have like Yawgmoth, IMO. Yawgmoth just kind of does everything you ever want. Because it's a sacrifice outlet, it draws you cards, it also proliferates, right? This is just the perfect triad of things that this deck wants to do. Maybe we get a Weathered Wayfarer in over a Swamp. Weathered Wayfarer, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. You can get this off of Starfield Shepherd. It's very important 1-drop to get. Curious Farm Animals could be interesting. Selfless Spirit should be in. Okay, great. It wasn't in. Here it is now. Selfless Spirit, it's a flying creature. When you play this and then you play Adeline next turn, you get a bunch of soldiers, right? Because Adeline isn't when she attacks, it's whenever you attack. So having a flying creature that can get through is pretty nice. How do you feel about Illicit Masquerade? Illicit Masquerade's very good in a token deck like this. I'm trying to think, do I like it over Living Death? I don't think so, and I don't even know if I like Living Death necessarily for this deck. We are an attacking deck, though, so I'm going to give you Winds of Abandon. Winds of Abandon is a 2-mana sorcery that exiles a creature. Already pretty great. It's also a 6-mana sorcery that gets rid of all of your opponent's blockers. That's also great for your attacking deck. Dictate of Erebos is also cute and dirty. I agree. We already have Solthera, so I think we're just going to keep it at Solthera, guys. If we're running Solthera only, that typically tells me that the play group doesn't typically like Grave Pack kind of shenanigans, so we're going to stick with Solthera. I will add Chthonian Nightmare, though, now that I think about it. Chthonian Nightmare works well with the proliferation theme because of the energy counters. And then it also works well with just the aristocracy. We're making a bunch of tokens. We have a bunch of cheap creatures. We're going to bring back this cheap creature, return this creature, this permanent left the battlefield. We get an experience counter, etc. So that all works well for Chthonian Nightmare. And plus, if you ever like bounce a bunch of 2-drops back in play and start netting energy from this, you can start returning Minthara, which is pretty decent. Okay, so Mom, Giver. And then maybe just like one... more big spell that can also be cheap for the hideaway cards. I'm just trying to think about what that would look like. What's a cheap card that is also great in aristocrats? Maybe just Elishnorn. But Elishnorn kind of steals Minthara's thunder a little bit. I get why the fetch lands are here, but I'm just... If we were already running Arid Mesa and stuff, I think maybe we shouldn't be on the slow, shitty fetches. That's just my opinion. Escape Tunnel, like, we're never using the other mode, are we? And Terramorphic out. And then we can maybe just add Sand Scout. Oh, Sand Scout's already in. Thank God, someone who listens to me. Oh my goodness, I was terrified for a second. Okay. So let's go Plains, Fabled Passage. It's literally like, it's 69 cents. Oh, it's already had, my fault. I was like, it's 69 cents, but it's just a straight upgrade. The art and the price are kind of yikes, but Commissar Severina Rain. That one's fine. Type land, O tag, O sacrifice, O search, sort USD. Okay, maybe just shell out for a Bloodstained Mire. I honestly think it's worth it. Misty Rainforest in this deck? Yeah, let's do it, dude. Okay, ideally another 1-drop. Maybe just Curious Farm Animals. I like Curious Farm Animals as a 1-drop that blows up an artifact or enchantment in my, like, right, it can tutor it off of Starfield Shepherd. I mean, Ranger Captain of Eos would be fucking broken in this deck, but I don't want to, like, recommend, like, a $5,000 card. Run this if you can. If you can't, that's fine. You don't need it, but it's also just insane in this deck. Do you play with diverse pods that demand radically different decks, or do you find yourself gravitating towards the same familiar pods? I typically play in familiar pods, but it depends. When it comes to deck reviews, I'll typically ask what like pods are like, or something like that, or if something's like a meta call. Anyway, here's Dollmaker Shop. Here's Sand Scout, perfectly on time. Get Lazotep Quarry. And then play my land for turn, which can be Arid Archway. Bounce this, surveil 1, graveyard. Next turn. There's Collector's Cage, which are pretty good. Let's do Windbrisk Heights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can put Disciple Bolus underneath this one. Or maybe we do Technomancer. I think mana is better than card, at least in this position. So, Ruthless Technomancer under this. 1, 2. Collector's Cage, and then we hide away 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get Starfield Shepherd into the Collector's Cage. And then we move to combat. We swing with Sand Scout. We get a 1/1 toy. And hey, if you're not safe to attack here, great news, you have Reconnaissance. And then maybe you put a counter on Sand Scout with Collector's Cage. Damn, you can do that at instant speed? That card's fucked up and evil. Okay, anyway, next turn. Plains, Dink, Giver of Runes, Black, White, 1, 2, Minthara. And then you go Dink, Dink, Starfield Shepherd because you put a counter on the toy. Now you have 1, 2, 3. There's Starfield Shepherd for free. Mana value goes 1. You get a creature. Get Nested Shambler, I guess. Could get Viscerous here. Maybe Mom, but we already have Giver. Let's get Viscerous here. Okay. Right. So that'll be that. You can move to combat, get another toy. So Minthara gets an experience counter. Next turn. Lazotep Quarry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, both tabs of the Porcelain Gallery Doll Maker shop are now open. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures. So these all become 6/6s. This is a 7/7 because there's a counter on it. So these are all 6/6s. And then you can put a counter on something. And then you can swing with your creatures and they all become 7/7s. Like, behold the power of Doll Maker Shop. Boom. All right, playtest. Let's try this hand out. This hand looks fucking awesome, by the way. Shadowy Backstreets. Whoa, we don't run Shadowy Backstreets. Listen, I know it's a little bit of money to do this, but Shadowy Backstreets is one of the cheaper Surveil lands at $10. You should get one if you have fetch lands. Dollmaker Shop has looked real good every time it's in play, and that's because it's a fucking awesome card that works with Hideaway, it works with Sacrificing, it works with Token Generation, it works with everything you need in Orzhov, in Boros, and like, it just works, right? In these like tokeny plans, it's very nice. I like the Collector's Cage is another one of these card advantage cards that works in this color combo, stuff like that. I'm low-key wanting to add Flicker Wisp, because I kind of like that Flicker Wisp works with Bailmerk. I like that it works with Collector's Cage. I like that it works with Windbrisk Kites too, because you can flicker a land with Flicker Wisp. So there's a lot of ways that you can use that to like reset these Hideaway advantage engines, and I find the Hideaway advantage engines really fun in these tokeny decks. I'm gonna cut Halia. We can't cut Beseech the Queen, otherwise I would, but it has the Shadow Hard Art, so you can't cut it. All right, playtest. This hand's insane. Dink, 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 dink. Next turn. Swamp 1, 2. Overlord the Bailmerk 1, 2, 3, 4. Mill 4. Return a non-avatar creature card. We whiff. That's okay. Actually, I don't like call the Coppercoats that much. Will of the Mardu is just like such a way better card. And we could probably bump ourselves up to 40 lands here, although we do have Weather Wayfarer with the Kabira takedown. Right, Kabira takedown, count the number of creatures you control, punch a creature for that much. Boom. Is this a Yuri deck? I guess. If you think really hard about it, it is. Okay, here's Nested Shambler. Next turn. Shadowy Backstreet Surveil 1. Reconnaissance. I'll graveyard it. I don't think we need it this game. Last Step Quarry pass. Felia. Next turn. Karn's Bastion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minthara. I would not chagrin anyone keeping Reconnaissance there. It depends on the board state, but if you have a control player, which typically a pod does, Felia will always get through, and she grows herself, so... Okay, we have one experience counter. There's Disciple of Bolas. Dink, dink, Godless. 2, 3, 4. Here's Witch Enchanter. Also Flicker Witch Enchanter. Experience counter number 2. Counter on Felia. Okay. At this point, we can kind of just send a couple of the team. Flicker Witch Enchanter again. We get treasures, right? And we exile the top cards of opponent's libraries. Here's treasures. Hooray. Next turn. Verdant. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dink. 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 Draw 4. Get 4 squirrels. Like, that's pretty insane. You get draw Gix. Ugh. Yuck. Probably playing Falcon and Red Wing here. Is this card good for Safara? No, it isn't, because you need to swing with it. If this had Vigilance, it'd be good for Safara. Okay. So we have Grateful Apparition. We have Drown and Ichor. Okay. I can't spell. I looked up Yuri on. So Yuri isn't on Scryfall, but Twink is. Art Twink. Like Art Twink works. Can you do Art Butch? Okay, okay, you can't say they're lesbian phobic. Not male privilege, not male privilege. Butch works. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. Lesbians, you win too. It's okay. I know you're angry all of the time. That's part of your, like, charm. But, like, you're good too. You're included. Okay, but this fems, guys, who cares about fems? Fuck off. That's what the twink tag's for. That's where all the fems are. Wow. Listen. I hate to be that guy, but when it comes to lesbianism, you dirty lesbians, the butches are like the star of the show. It's kind of like tops and bottoms in like gay male culture, I think. Right? Keep in mind, I'm not a part of lesbian culture. I am a part of gay male culture, though. But everyone's a fucking bottom and no one's a top. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is I think the butches have priority. When it comes to lesbianism, I love like the phrases like lesbianism. It's such an unhinged fucking thing to say. I just like cannot fucking believe that people say that shit. Anyway. Gotta say, I'm just kind of impressed with the curve of this deck. We're really low curve now, but we have surprising high-end curve options like this that we can hide away off of. I say disciples of Sappho. True. She did invent lesbians. Before her, there was none. Okay. I am a little wary of Bastion of Remembrance. It is just like a 3-drop, and the power isn't there for it to be a 3-drop. It's aight. Oh, this is Squad. Holy fuck, this is cool. I thought this was Sneak. It's Squad. That card's busted. Okay, we have 1 slot now. Maybe just jam an Ink Shield. I hate to be that guy, but like honestly, if your deck doesn't work, it's nice to have, like, I have 5 mana, win the game by accident. It's cool to have 1 kicking around. Is Bastion on the way out? Yeah, for me, okay. Bastion of Remembrance is still good in a lot of decks. This isn't a drain aristocrats deck. Does that make sense? We're a beat down, buff our creatures up aristocrat deck. In fact, I might want to cut Marionette Apprentice, although Marionette Apprentice and Chthonian Nightmare are a little bit of a wombo combo, so I don't know if I really want to be doing that. I just got here. We got any new Marvel cards to decks? Not really. I've been trying to keep in mind when like a couple of the Marvel cards would be good, because there's a couple that I've earmarked in the dome. The last deck where we added Kudo to, we could have added the we could have added Queen Mother Ramonda to that one, the green white deck with Kudo in it. But that's the only thing I felt like I missed today in terms of Marvel. Yeah, this is black-white tokens with a sacrifice theme, not black-white aristocrats, right? That is a perfect way of putting this. Okay, great. I think this deck's good to go, though. Very happy with how this one looks.